All right, what's going on, everybody? We are live right now. I'm being joined by the one and the only Blood Boxing. How's it going, Blood?
Man, I'm chilling, man. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we could hear you. I think for some reason I'm like behind a little bit. Like it takes you like a few seconds to kind of get what I say, but I don't know. StreamYard's acting weird, but we'll work with it. You know what I mean? So we've dealt with worse, if you remember Google
Cool.
Hangouts and stuff. So we'll be all right. Super Sam Kennedy, Haplotype, how's it going? Just chilling here, man. Throwback Thursday. Whoever's an old school channel, welcome to come on. Just give me the word. You know what I mean? And we'll definitely let you on and stuff, man. Hey, Blood. So it's been 2 weeks, man. We've been in a little bit of a hiatus, but now we're back. Throwback Thursday. First, man, give me your thoughts on Ra the
Yeah, that's
Rugged
right.
Man. I like to see. I like to get him on the throwback in the future. But what are your thoughts on on Ra, bro?
Hey, man, I think that he's got a lot of boxing knowledge, man. I talked to him years ago. I talked to him, way back in the day after he did the thing with Floyd Mayweather. Maybe like 3 or 4 days after that, we was on Leave It in the Ring, and he came and he joined as a guest, and he was able to talk about things from the past, about other fighters. He was able to talk about Sanchez, all kinds of stuff. So he studied the different eras. So I liked what I heard, and I look forward to seeing him more on your show, man, because I thought that he brought a lot to the show. He has a lot of knowledge, man. Anybody who studied the sport from the past, I respect their knowledge. And usually you'll notice that, just like he said on your
Right.
show yesterday, that anybody who knows the sport wouldn't have Floyd Mayweather as their number one. Okay. I just don't believe that anyone who knows the sport really well, considering all the demands that he placed on fighters and his cherry picking ways, he could never, ever, ever be considered in my top 10 or anyone I know who knows boxing. Just that simple.
Right. And we did touch on that, and that's actually a good topic. Floyd Mayweather, is he TBE? I mean, is he the best ever at making money? I guess we could put him as the best ever at making money, right? That's what he wanted to be remembered as. I mean, I don't know if you remember this interview, Blood. Remember that he was being interviewed, and he said he's like, people call me a coward. Well, guess what? I'm a rich coward. I don't know if you remember that interview. Um,
Yeah, I remember it.
like, who says that? Like, only
He
Floyd
didn't
would
care.
think,
He
like,
always said stuff like that.
yeah. So, I mean, overall, I
Well,
don't
he
think the
would
guy's
say
a
things
coward.
straight up like I robbed the bank. Yeah, high risk, low reward, all that shit that he said right in everyone's face, and nobody was
Right.
listening to it because they was being fanboys. That's when the fanboy stuff came in during the Floyd Mayweather era.
Yes.
The internet was a different place back in the day. And see, that's another thing with the boxing magazine. See, the boxing magazine went out of style in around 2005 because sites like, you remember Doghouse Boxing and all that
Right.
shit back in the day, way back in the day. They had the forums and stuff. And see, when the boxing magazine got weak, that's when Oscar De La Hoya came in, and he stepped in and he bought the Ring magazine and he bought the KO magazine. The KO magazine outsold the Ring magazine. Go do your research. Go do your research for several years. It's on the internet. Go to Wikipedia, they'll tell you. It outsold the Ring magazine. And if you're a true diehard boxing fan, my dad was in the military, so I was in all kind of different states. Everywhere where I went, I saw KO magazine. Okay, what Oscar De La Hoya did is he closed that magazine down. He bought the Ring magazine at a time when the magazine was dying out because of the internet providing information for us on a daily basis, and he made that magazine into a joke. He devalued the Ring belt. He took away the great magazine, and he basically buried the legacy, man. And he buried the legacy of the great KO magazine too. A lot of people don't know what I'm talking about, but I know. I guess that we went from Floyd Mayweather to
That's how we do
Oscar
it.
De
Yeah.
La Hoya, my bad. Shit. What can I say?
Shit. That's how we do it on Throwback. You know what I mean? We go all over the place. It's all good. St. Cruz says Mayweather number 23 in my book. He says generous. In the 20s, 30s sounds right to me for Floyd.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I could deal with that. The top
Yeah.
10, though, I just don't think people know what they're talking about. Now, 20s, even that, there's an argument because of the era that he fought in. But if you say this era, shit, I won't argue with number one for, if you say since 2000 or something like
Right.
that. If you say since 2000, like the internet era or something, and you say he's number one for that, then I don't even know if I'd argue with that. I'd probably agree with that right there.
Yeah. I made a statement yesterday to Ari. It looked like he agreed with me, but I've always said this. I've always said, you can get Sugar Ray Robinson in a time machine, blood, bring him to this era, and let him cherry pick and all that, right? And he would be 50-0 easy, right? Especially if you give him Conor McGregor in the 50th fight. Like he will go 50-0 easy. Mayweather can't do 100 fights in Robinson's era. Am I wrong in saying that?
Yep. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
No, I'm asking you, am I wrong in saying that?
No, you're not wrong in saying that. In fact, the only problem is with Sugar Ray Robinson. I've been reading up a lot on Sugar Ray Robinson. I'm still getting a lot of stuff. I'm getting magazines, boxes by the week. All the knowledge is coming in. I can't even take it all at one time. But I've been reading a little bit of stuff on Sugar Ray Robinson. Come to find out, man, he had a lot of just these kind of ways, man. And if he would have came in today and had all those perks and stuff Floyd Mayweather had, Sugar Ray Robinson might have taken it to another level. I'm here to tell you, he might have retired after, one big ass payday. He might have retired, man. He might have went out, got him about 20 women and retired. So I don't know how Sugar Ray Robinson would have held up with his personality in that era.
Right,
he would have been a real hard guy to please. He would have been hard at the bar. When the pay-per-view fights, he would have wanted all the revenue. He would have wanted all this shit. Sugar Ray Robinson was a diva too, man. But for that time period, he really was.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, I'm just saying, if he gets a cherry pick and he, like who
he would have had
Floyd's
it easy. If he came in with the same mentality he had with a 1940s mentality, if he came in with a 1940s mentality, then, that's a different story. He'll clean house. You know what I'm saying? Get the pick who he wants to fight and all of that stuff. Man, they're clean and have like several belts to pick between. He would have won belts from from welterweight all the way up to light heavyweight to maybe even cruiserweight, because he could have found a cruiserweight fighter that he could beat. He would have went all the way to the cruiserweight, man. That's how I look at it. That's how great he was. He fought under extreme conditions still. The gloves were still smaller. They wasn't as good to protect your hands. So these guys held up. That's part of what made them great. So when you say that Floyd Mayweather is could win 100 straight fights, what is he going to do? Rejuvenate his hands after each fight? He couldn't even take. He was complaining after 30 fights, man. After 30 fights, he was complaining. They were saying his hands were shot. He started getting the shots in his hands. He wouldn't have had none of that stuff back then, and he would have got knocked out. Somebody would have knocked him out back in them times, Anybody from back in that era, man. All of those real roughhouse fighters, Griffith, all them guys, man. He would have had a real problem with those guys.
Oh yeah, I mean, without a shadow of a doubt, dude. St. Cruzan has a question for us. Send us a question, guys. He says, "What fighter beat Archie Moore 3 times? Last one by KO." You know the answer to that, Blood?
3 times. The last time he knocked out Archie Moore.
Yeah, it says, "What fighter beat Archie Moore 3 times?" And the last one by KO. Yeah.
Hold on. Let me think. Wasn't this Charles? I don't know, man. I'm not really sure. That's a good one. I'm not sure. Give it to us, man.
Give it to us, Satan. Got me with that one. No, I'm not even gonna fake it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, give
ING
it to
saying
us.
is that
I don't
Ezra
know who
Charles.
it is. Give it to us.
Yeah.
Was it Ezra Charles?
Well,
I
ING
thought they
saying
only
Ezra
fought twice.
Charles.
I thought they fought 2 times.
Right.
They
EJ
fought
saying
three
that it is
times with
Charles.
Ezra Charles?
They fought 3 times for real? Okay. Haplotype says you can't compare the two because Mayweather never moved up to middleweight and they both started around the same weight. Wow. And I mean, Robinson fought at 175, right? He didn't win because of the damn sun and stuff, but he did go up and test himself right there. Yeah, he says Arizona Charles. I could have sworn they fought twice, but
Me too. I
hey,
thought they fought 2 times. That's
okay.
okay, man, because I haven't got to Ezra Charles yet, but I have every Ring magazine from 45 up, and I got several others, and I got a lot of Ezra Charles, and I'm going to do a documentary on him. But to be honest with you, Ezra Charles and those guys, I haven't gotten knee deep into them yet because I have so much information. I'm on other careers right now. Okay, I'm on other, certain historians cover certain fighters, and for me, I'm caught up in about 5 different careers right at this time that I'm still getting into. And I'm finding a lot of shit. I'm finding out a lot about a lot of other fighters. When I do get into Ezra Charles, I could tell you that I have all the original documents. I have them all. I could tell you that. And I'm going to put them together. Wait till you see what I do with this Salvador Sanchez documentary, okay? I'm going to tell you about 5-star promotions, okay? There's no information on the internet. Type 5-star promotions in, you'll find nothing. I'm going to tell you about all of that. I'm going to tell you about his deals, his TV deals, and how TV deals worked in the early 1980s, because when Don King went through his thing with 5-star promotions, it kind of let me know through all the different magazines that I got and the different newspaper clippings that I read, which is 120 something of them for the newspaper clippings. And I have pretty much, I think I have every magazine that Sanchez was in. That's why it's taking so long. I'm trying to do this guy some justice, okay? So I got something good coming, right? I got every fucking magazine. I've got newspaper articles. I know backdrop stories now of Sanchez. I know about his little run with 5-star promotions. I learned a little bit about Gil Clancy, them promotion company. I learned about Madison Square Garden promotions. A lot of the different outfits and the different things that was going on with the TV deals. Okay, my era of boxing starts around 1983. That's where I'm an expert. I'm an expert from around 83 to about 2010. Okay, that's where my biggest that's where I was really taking interest in the fighters. Anywhere from 83 to 2010. Around 2010, I started to lose interest because of all the alphabet belt shit and all the shit that's going on and all the politics that's driving me crazy around here. You know what I'm saying? And they continue to drive me crazy as I look at the spreadsheet. But anyway, man, I went somewhere else with the whole thing. But hey, that's what we do, right? On Throwback. That's what we do.
Hell
shit.
yeah,
That's
what throwbacks. It's just it's there ain't no notes, there ain't no structure. We don't even talk about the show. We just come on here, we start talking. Someone is asking here, champ, what do you say about Nicolino Loche? Look, man, great Argentinian fighter. Throwback, really good defense. You know what I mean? I know I know Reynoso, Canelo's trainer. Studies him a lot as far as and he implements some of Canelo's defense. They get it from that. At least that's what they say. Maybe they just don't want to give Floyd any credit or something, but that's what at least that's what they say. You know what I mean? Yeah, you have any thoughts on Loche? Blood?
I know he's a great fighter from Argentina, man. I don't know. Like, once again, I basically know who these fighters are and stuff like that. But I really never got into his career other than just knowing of his existence and things. I know he had a lot of fights. He was one of those guys who had like 100. He might have had 130 fights or something like that. And I know he fought throughout the because I have him in some of the magazines. Like I know he fought throughout the 60s and 70s. That's all. I don't know much about him other than what he looks like, and pretty much that's about it, man. I know he was a world champion and things like that. Um, I think he might have been a light. What was he? A lightweight or something like that? He was a lightweight, right? Was he a
Yeah.
lightweight?
So he did fight at like lightweight. You know, pretty much. Sounds about right. Yeah.
Hey, what's good, Fanon? Shout out to Fanon, man. Fanon
Absolutely, man. Shout
Internet.
out to Fanan. Um, but 135, 140 would be like where you could say he fought it, for sure. Fanan says, "What's good, D Style and Blood? Absolutely. What's going on, man? Shout out to Fanan. Thank you so much for the support.
Salute, Fanon.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, and we got, of course, Curtis Anderson on here, Kurt Sugar in the chat as well. How's it going? And we're joined now by the one and only Dan the Man. How's it going, Dan?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
Hey, man. How you doing, Dan?
I'm all right, man. Just got doing some little, little errands with my wife, so I'm just back here home chilling. So what's happening?
Hey, I want to do what I asked.
Man, I want to ask you something, Dan. Did you get your magazine? Because you're the only one who didn't confirm that you got it.
You know what? I don't think I did, but I have to go back. Yeah, I have to go back and check my PO box. But I'll let you know, man. I'll probably check by tomorrow because it's kind of late on my end.
Yeah, let me know. Let me know. You've been there like a week ago.
Yeah, I think it's there. I just have to go and check. I'll check my.
Oh, okay. Okay, it's at the PO box. Got you.
Right. Yeah. I'll check it, man. But yeah. So I heard you guys were mentioning Nicolino Lache just for the moment. But if I could get a moment to comment on that. He's a very, one of the few fighters, well, one of many fighters that doesn't get mentioned on this YTBC platform that much because he was kind of widely unknown because he spent most of his career fighting in Argentina. But, he did take it to the world level in one of his fights against, got that cat name who he beat for the world title, the Japanese fighter, I believe. But, I mean, he was a master at defensive tactician, which he was widely known for. And, one of his greatest wins on his resume was against Antonio Cervantes when he was up and coming. So,
right. Cervantes is on the cover of that magazine right there that I got. I know Cervantes. And he's on the cover of the magazine that I got going up, February 1976 here.
Right. I do see it. I do see the cover right there. Yeah, I see Cervantes, Ali, and Monzon. Yeah, I see a lot of guys there, man.
You know what? Actually, I'm glad you're here because you know what? I can't name all the guys on the cover. Okay, I was looking at it. The only guys that I recognize are Ali, Cervantes, Monzon, Aguelo, and isn't that Duran right there? A beardless Duran right there.
I don't. You know what? Nah, I don't think that's Duran. Nah, I don't think that's Duran. I think that could be. If I'm not mistaken, man, I can't. Yeah,
let me widen it. First, shout out to Afro-Rican G, man. I appreciate the support, bro. I'll widen it out here so we can kind of get a closer look, and then I want the chat to kind of chime in, see if they can tell us.
Let me know who all of these guys are because, I don't know. Shit, that's what I'm saying. Like when it comes to the 70s, I only know my era from when I was alive. Like the 70s and the 60s and all of that, I have, basic more than the average. I'll tell you that.
Right.
I hear you. Yeah, well, while I get that up here, Dan, I always ask everyone who comes onto Throwback Thursday, I always ask them the same question, man. How did you discover YouTube boxing, man? And what made you decide to start a YouTube channel?
Oh man, that's a good question. I was what you call it? I was a commenter. I was commenting, I should say. I wasn't, I was just watching you guys and Blood and most others since 2008, man, 2009, around that time. And I remember you guys used to have the Rope-A-Dope radio at the time when you had that dude that I couldn't stand at the time, Kent. I know Blood and Kent went at it one time. I know Blood probably remember that years ago. But yeah. I forgot the last name, but I couldn't stand the dude. He was too annoying, but no disrespect. But him at the time, and then there was Boxing Wasp that came around at that time, and we all remember him. And we had Carcino, obviously, and before then you had Filthy Mouth. You had Let me see. I mean, I could name a lot of people that people don't even remember. They're not even on this platform anymore. But Boxing Bill and Joe Clem, I know people didn't like them, but other than that, yeah, I was around at that time when I was just listening to you guys, man. But when I started to make videos, it was around 2015. It was like the whole Floyd Mayweather debacle. I mean, I guess Blood can try to say this too in a way. At the time, look, I really liked Floyd Mayweather, but I didn't like his tactics. I didn't like his business decision making. I mean, look, at the end of the day, he had a great career. I just didn't like the fact that they were, people were defending him when he was criticizing fighters from the past, especially fighters who couldn't defend themselves. So that's what prompted me to jump on here and combat that. You know what I'm saying? Because me, I'm a guy who respect all-time greats. I'm not saying they were perfect. No. But at least most of them wouldn't go out there and chastise and criticize their what's the word I'm looking for? Their predecessors, as I call it. Why, especially at a time where predecessors can't defend themselves. Now, you could go back and say, okay, if you're mentioning Muhammad Ali, he did criticize Joe Louis, didn't he not? I'm like, yeah, he did, but at least at the time, Joe Louis was able to defend himself amongst that criticism. Ali couldn't do that. So I felt that was a little bit disrespectful for Floyd to do things like that in my way. I mean, look, it doesn't degrade the fact he had a great career and all that, but at the end of the day, that's what kind of prompt me to start my channel and just talk about boxing, man. Talk about it in a rational level. Let's talk about history because I think what was missing from the platform, and I know shout out to you, D Style Blood. You guys kind of kept the all time greats on your platform as a give them recognition on your platforms. I thought that it was like I had to do that as well because they don't get enough recognition because everybody seems to be fixated on modern day boxing, which is not a bad thing. But right. To say that, I'll just throw out something. I could have heard something from the grapevine that someone said that I believe someone said, I could be wrong here. I asked this person this question, and I'm not going to mention the dude, but I think someone said that Terrence Crawford was the greatest lightweight of all time, and things like that. And then when you hear things like that, I'm like, oh, wait, hold up. If you can repeat what you just said, let me make sure I got a perfect understanding what you just said. I just want to make sure. Did you just say that Terrence Crawford was the greatest lightweight of all time? And if that person said, yeah, because he could do this, he could do that. I'm like, well, have you heard of Roberto Duran? Have you heard of Benny Leonard? I mean, because if you haven't heard of those guys, then you shouldn't have said what you just said. Those type of things.
Right.
So, but that's what kind of got me to get on here, man, because I like to keep those all-time greats and, give them a platform so they can get the recognition that they deserve, that they never got when they were up and coming. So I'm like Ezra Charles and Cincinnati Cobra. That's my favorite fight of all time. Nobody talks about him, So and he has arguably probably the best resume in boxing history, in my view. That's just my opinion. You could say Harry Greb does. That's fine. You could say Joe Gans, the old master. Maybe Barbados Joe Wilcott. You could Jack Johnson even. That's fine, but at the end of the day, I think the Cincinnati Cobra have probably had the overall best resume of all time because this man started as a, he was an amateur, amateur welterweight. Then started his career as a very small middleweight and was beating the Black Murderers Rose fighters like Charlie Burley when he was 18 years old. He's fighting Hall of Famers like Ken Overland. So, at the early stages of his career and then moving up to light heavyweight, he was taking on guys like, like the Holman Williams, the Jimmy Bivens, and, even Joe Louis that took his title away. So, a fight with many people felt that he couldn't win, especially coming all the way from light heavyweight, a small light heavyweight at that. Right. So, things like that, the Cincinnati Cobra, this man was in wars with many great fighters and beat them all against, and despite the odds. So to me, Ezra Charles was like the original Evander Holyfield, small guy, didn't give him much of a shot, especially fighting the bigger weight guys. He was knocking them out and then beating them. And against all, against circumstances. And yet he doesn't get that type of recognition because nobody knows of him. Maybe because of the fact that there were fights that people bet on him to lose. And then he beat those guys. And then he was almost, some people would say he was like trying to be marginalized like Gus Milovich, who was light heavyweight champion at the time, who refused to give him a shot at the title. But yet Ezra went up to the heavyweight, beat Joe Louis. And then Gus Milovich also won the heavyweight title shot. And then Ezra Charles gave him the shot and knocked him out. So I guess out of retribution, it's like, hey, well, that's what you get for not giving me a shot at the title at light heavyweight. So it is what it is, things like that, man.
Man, he had an awesome career, Ezra Charles, man. a phenomenal career. It's unfortunate what happened to him after his boxing career too. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
The
yeah,
lifestyle
yeah.
go through after his boxing career. And there should be a tribute out there for him. That's why I'm going to read every 50s, 40s, and 50s magazines I got on Ezra Charles. I'm going to put out the best documentary. When you see the Salvador Sanchez piece, you'll see where I'm going with Ezra Charles and whoever else I decide to feature. You know what I'm saying? I just love doing stuff for these old school fighters because the true stories need to be told. I couldn't come on here and just do a Wikipedia thing on Salvador Sanchez, okay? Because there's so much information that's not on the internet, okay? So
absolutely,
I have to do what I got to do to put this information out there. And Ezra Charles is right after Salvador Sanchez. Dan, in fact, you should do that, some of that Ezra Charles with me, man. I'm gonna invite you to join me to help me complete that documentary.
I'll definitely do that, man. I'll work with you on that. I would like to add one thing too. I remember a time where somebody went out and said that Sugar Ray Leonard was the greatest fighter of all time, right? And I had to respond to that claim, and I say, okay, well, if he's the greatest fighter of all time, then can you tell me? I asked this person. He's an uploader, but he doesn't really get into animosity anymore, which is a smart thing for him to do. But I asked him, well, can you tell me why is he better than?
Yep.
What's up?
I agree. I said, Sugar Ray Leonard, that is smart to do.
Yeah. And I asked the guy, I was like, okay, can you tell me why is he better than Ezra Charles? He said, who's that? I was like, well, that's my point.
No.
Yeah. So check it out.
You can't have that. You can't have that conversation.
Hold that thought there, Dan. What's going on, EJ?
Yo, what's going on, man? Now you guys are talking old school, man. This is some good stuff. What's up, Blood? What's up, D-Stars? What's up, Panda, man? What's going on? I'm all right, man.
We need, throwback. We have to reach across the pond, bro. You know what I mean? You're one of those old school channels, still around, still kicking. You know what I mean? I turn around, he's just talking Lakers basketball, and I turn around, he's talking boxing and old school boxing, new school boxing. But I want to ask you the same question I ask everybody, EJ, everybody that comes in for the first time. How did EJ Boxing Live get into this boxing talk here on YouTube? What got you to do it? And how'd you discover it?
Yeah, well, it was, like, I was just watching YouTube, and like at the time, you had a lot of fighters, and I like historicals. I remember the debate back. This is going back. I think it was 2007, 2008, maybe around there. The debate back in the days was always like, because I think Mike Tyson. Did Mike Tyson? No. It's even further than that. I think Mike Tyson didn't fight Lennox Lewis. No, I think it was just after Mike Tyson fought Lennox Lewis. But there was a strong debate back then, that if Mike Tyson was fight Ali, who would win? And a lot of people remember when Mike Tyson was doing his thing backwards and forward. And there's a guy called Video 6, right? So I used to watch this guy called Video 6. He's from New York, wherever. And he was arguing backwards and forwards. And I was listening to this guy. I said, bruh. And that's the sort of debate I wanted to get on. And when I saw that, I just got inspired and said, yo, I'm going to start, go on YouTube and start saying my thing. And that's what I started to do. So I was watching the Video 6. And then I got obviously all the videos from Video 6, 78. Then I see obviously my man Blood, who's obviously Spreadsheet, and then all the other guys, then the black screen team, and that was it, man. That's how I got in. It was just basically getting into some of these debates that old school talking about. I mean, it was the historical talk and also the current boxing at the time. Mayweather Pacquiao fight was just getting started. I didn't think nothing of it after, that turned into something. Obviously, the Gambino, the Pactars, and back the wars and stuff like that. So it was really back then. I was then obviously me and Beats. There was Beats and Hatman, and there was a guy called UK Wing Chun. Another guy called European Boxing was the only guy from over here, right? So European boxing turned himself e-boxing later on, and then Hatman was doing his thing, and then Beats was doing he done a really good historical thing on the cruiserweights, right, where guys are too big, too small to be heavyweights, and he made them in a catch weight, and he done like historical 10 fighters in a cruiserweight, and he kind of made. And I said, wow, that was good. So then me and him got talking, and I reckon that's where people get to know. I think it was me and Beats because we used to go in each other. Like, even though we cool with each other, we used to go at each other hard, and I think that's where me and him kind of got in. So I'd say Video 6 and just listening and some of the debates, but there was so many. I mean, the historical stuff you're talking about now, that always interesting, because the historical stuff you can always talk about it, bro. Because it's like Jack the Ripper. It's never solved. You know what I mean? It's always like you're talking about the greatest of all time. Everyone's talking about Ezra Charles. I throw in Sam Lamford. You know what I'm saying? I throw in Sam Lamford into the equation and say, oh, Sam Lamford is probably one of the greatest of all time. It was like, who's Sam Lamford? Like, to me, bro, like, man can pay from lightweight up to heavyweight when there was only like 7 divisions in the time and fought all the best at the time, you know, and like, you know, decisions against all the greatest fighters, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I always like some of these debates backwards and forwards, because, you know, you can talk all this stuff and talk about Canelo, you can talk about Ryan Garcia, talk about Crawford, what's his name, Gary Russell and stuff, but the old school stuff, yeah, always, because unsolved, there's always an opinion. And Bloods was talking about the Salvador Sanchez. I didn't even know about that. I mean, I want to really discover about is it Mahmoud, Matt Mahmoud, the Muslim guys who's in promote. They were controlling boxing along with Don King, and I don't know how they disappeared. I think the last fight they had was Manny Pacquiao. I'm really intrigued to see what happened to them guys there. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do some research and try and find out what happened to them and how did they come into boxing. But there's so many angles you can go to in this boxing thing that, rather than the current stuff was happening. So that's how I came to boxing. Video 6, and just followed it from that. That's what it was.
All right, good stuff, man. Hey, shout out to Leave It in Ring Dave. The win is on your 97 Rough in the chat, saying these style channels come out swinging in 2020. Haplotype on here. Curtis Anderson, Bruce Goes, Saint Cruising. We got Fanon International. We got, Afro Rican. Okay, well, we got, Stormy B-Man. Okay, we got a lot of great names here, a lot of knowledge, and not to mention the panel. The quality of the people here is something. And Curtis Anderson says, I'm in La La Land with all this boxing talk. It's a great platform. I was watching Gomez versus Zarate. And of course,
that was a great fight, man. Hey, Gomez, that motherfucker Gomez, that was another one of those Puerto Rican versus Mexican battles. That guy Gomez, man, he knocked out like 30-something straight before Sanchez got to him, man. Man, that guy was a beast. That's another thing I did on the documentary, is you're going to get to see the careers of Gomez, Lopez, all kind of people. I put all those, Castillo, I put all those guys' careers. I'm going into all of those guys' stuff. I got magazine articles of them. I clipped all that stuff. I clipped it. I clipped like over almost 200 articles, I'm telling you.
Yeah, wow. Speaking of Carlos Zarate, an all-time great in my view at the lower weight.
Go down, man. Let me just say this really quick. Haplotype, thank you a lot for the super chat, man. He says could be the best chat section of all time. Salute. Get the Smoke is on here. He says peace, shout. Hey, you want to stay on here, bro? You might win this classic magazine. Go ahead, Dan. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was gonna say that Carlos Zarate, just real quick. I was actually watching one of his old fights, him and Jeff Fennick, and it was somewhat bizarre how that fight ended. Now, don't get me wrong, Fennick, before the stoppage, Fennick was up on the cards. I'm not disputing that. It's just the way how that fight got stopped. Yes, Fennick knocked him down. And I think he was winning 4 of those 5 rounds, in my view. But the referee stopped the fight because of a cut over Fennick's left eye or right eye due to the referee initially ruled it an accidental headbutt. And then when he did that, he took a point away from Zarate in the fight. And I was wondering, why did he do that? I think because maybe in his mind, he was trying to give Fennick any possible chance he could to win the fight on the scorecards, which, to me, I know a lot of people are looking at that and say, okay, Zarate got robbed for any chance of winning that fight. I kind of disagree with that, but to the extent, though, I just felt that the referee should not have done what he done. Yes, he stopped the fight because of the fact that the cut was bad, but I thought it was not that bad enough for him to stop the fight. I thought he was just giving Zarate a chance to get back in, stop him from giving Zarate a chance to get back into the fight because he thought that Fennick was tiring it out. So that's probably what it was, in my view. I just wanted to just chime on that.
And he was like late in his career during that time. That's like one of his last fights, ain't it?
Oh, yeah. He was very, very well past his prime. I mean, he went to that fight, 66-2? Only 2 losses, one to Gomez, and I think another one to, was it Ruben Alvarez that fought him, that took one of his O's away? Yeah, I have to go back and check, but yeah, he was 66-2 going into that fight. Yeah, he was way past it. And some people felt that Fennec wasn't ready for that fight. Yeah, he beat Dan Zaragoza before that fight. Cool, but at the same time, some people thought he wasn't ready. But because Zarate was a veteran, he'd been around. He was beating a lot of Hall of Famers. He had a stellar record going in. Well, vastly experienced. But other than that, Fennec had handled himself pretty well. But again, I think what it was is that the referee saw Fennec tiring out after 5 rounds, and he saw the cut, and he wanted to stop the fight and then take a point away from Zarate when he initially ruled an accidental headbutt. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, great stuff, Dan. A shout out to Haplotype and Curtis are debating Tyson versus Ali. We're gonna talk about that in a little bit for sure. I want to dive into that. Shout out to Best Fight the Best. He says all hitters on the panel. I appreciate the support. By the way, guys, in the chat, has someone said yet who all those faces are on the cover right there? I know you can't Google that one, you know what I mean? But if anybody could give me those names, please put the names in the chat. I want to know who can answer that question, by the way. All right?
Yeah. You talking about the pictures, right?
Yeah, right. It's on the screen right there, yeah.
Yeah, man. Come on, man. Give us the fighters, man, because right now, maybe Dan the Man, we didn't ask him. I got Ali. We did ask Dan the Man. I got Ali, Cervantes, Monzo, Arguello, Duran. That other guy, the beardless guy, I don't think that's Duran. Actually,
actually, there's one of the guys is there is Jose Napoles. I wanted to point that out. He's right underneath Ali.
Yeah, Napoles. I meant to say him too. He's right under Ali, Napoles. You're right. And the other guy looks kind of like is that Ben Venuti guy? You remember him?
Yeah, Ben Venuti. Yeah. I don't know, man. Is that Ben Kir? Is that Benny King? I don't know, but is that Benny King Perret, the black guy, the other black guy? On to the far left.
No. That looks like Cervantes. That's 1976. This right here.
Sure in the bottom, like without a shadow of a doubt.
Okay.
That's Monsoon, right? With a big freaking Bruce Lee type hair.
Yeah, that's him, and that's Arguello next to him. That's Napoles under Ali chin.
Hair and shit.
Shit, probably Duran, young.
Cervantes on the end.
All right. That's is that Olivares, the one next to at the far right below Napoles?
Yeah, I think that's Ruben Olivares right there.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, man. That's Duran, man. Yeah, that's definitely Duran getting his ass. That's Duran.
I think it is Duran. That's what I thought.
That's Duran. Who's the other guy with the crown? Who's the one with the crown?
I don't know. I think that's that 100 and who was that junior middleweight from the it was an Asian junior middleweight from the mid 1970s.
He looks like that looks like the middleweight champion who fought Harry and Henry Armstrong. Ain't that him? That look like one. He looks Filipino.
No. This is from the 70s. All these fighters are from the 70s, man.
Oh, they're from the 70s.
These were active fighters at the time, man. Yeah, these were active fighters at the time when the magazine came out.
Shit, man.
I know I got Ruben Olivares right.
That guy from the 1960s.
As long as I get Ruben Olivares right,
the junior middleweight guy.
Go ahead. What was that, Blood?
I think the guy with the crown. I think that Asian fighter from the 1970s. I'm gonna have to look him up. He's an Asian. Yeah. There was an Asian junior middleweight in the 1970s, and they had that Asian. He had fought another Asian guy, and they was running junior middleweight for a little while because I read up on him in the magazines. But I can't think of his name, but I think that's who that is. He's an Asian. I think he's a junior middleweight.
Let's get to the ultimate, this is a fight that people have been debating in bars and, family picnics, the whole nine. I know I've talked about this to death, but it never gets old. So it came up randomly, so let's talk about it. Prime Mike Tyson, this is at their best. Like Tyson at his best, Ali at his best. Whatever you define that as. Hey, Blood, who wins that fight in your opinion, man?
With Ali versus Tyson,
Yep.
at their very best, I'll give it to Ali because he also had the mental edge too. And a prime Ali is the mid-60s version of Ali, who fought Cleveland Williams, Foley, and them guys. Okay, so the Ali right before he was on Exile, that's the Ali right there. That's in his prime. Okay, now that guy right there versus Mike Tyson, who's in his prime. I think Mike Tyson's prime peak is probably the Terrell Biggs fight. Okay, because after that, he stopped. I mean, he was still kind of peaking in '89 because other fighters were just scared shitless of him, like Carl Williams and Michael Spinks. They didn't really bring much to the table. But I think because Ali had the mental edge, he would have been fucking with Tyson at the presses and everything. I think he would have kept Tyson at the end of that jab. And you got to remember the Ali from the 1960s then, rope-a-dope. He would have been on his toes. He would have been able to deal with that. He would have had the footwork to deal with that peekaboo style. Don't get me wrong. Mike Tyson would have hurt him on a few occasions. But you got to remember Ali had one of the best chins. He took punches from Ronnie Lyle and George Foreman. And, a lot of big punchers cross Ali's path. Ernest Shavers, big-time punches. You never seen Ali knock cold. And I don't think it would have been any different for Mike Tyson. I would favor Ali to win that fight. I'm not sure if he would take out Mike Tyson, but I think he would definitely win that fight, though. But you have to have a 60s version of Ali.
Okay. All right. And what do you think, EJ? Let's get a UK perspective here. Who wins this fight?
Yeah, Muhammad Ali, the greatest of all time. Either old, new, however you want it. So let's do the Ali at his prime. When Ali was at his prime, the footwork, speed, mentality. That guy was too fast for Mike Tyson. Even though Mike Tyson, you got you got to think about it, right? A lot of fighters, especially, they're very good on offense, yeah. But how you credit a fighters on their defense? Now, Tyson wasn't going to hit. He's going to get hit a lot with Ali. And as you see with most guys, when they get hit, they don't like it, tasting their own blood. Ali don't mind that. And he keep talking, putting that jab on him. Let's talk to the Mike Tyson who fought George Foreman, right? The rope-a-dope. He still beats Mike Tyson because if you look at it, right, when Mike Tyson's throwing the punches, Ali's rolling some, catching some, rolling some. Mike Tyson would have punched himself out, and Ali would have been uppercutting him every now and again, straight right, got off the ropes. He would have still beat him. However, because he's mentally tougher than Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is a very good on-top fighter. But if you look at Mike Tyson, and then you can look in his history, how many times did he win when he was coming from behind, when he was cut up and blooded up? You know what I mean? Ali can come back from any position you want, off the floor. If you cut him, if you break his jaw. Remember the 15 rounds he's going, yeah? He's too mentally strong for Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is a very good on top come forward. He looked great when he's putting the ass whipping to you. But when he's taking the ass whipping, bro, he ain't the best, bro. And usually he kind of looks his way out. So I got Ali, however you want it. I got Muhammad Ali, the greatest of all time.
And then the man. You want to be the devil's advocate, or you kind of feeling the same?
You know what? I have to admit, I have to feel the same because let me just say this. I agree with G Funky in the chat. Mike Tyson, most of his prime wins came from intimidation and psychology because all the opponents that before the first bell rang, Mike Tyson already beaten them because they were already afraid. They just wanted to get out of there and get out of there alive and collect their paycheck and go home. That's what most of those fighters do. But the moment that you had somebody out there that wasn't afraid of you, that was coming there to win, and they were going to come in to hurt you, that's when Mike Tyson folded, and that's when he kind of lost his intimidation factor, his aura, as you want to call it, his mental edge over his opponents. It can, you could cite Buster Douglas. That's one thing I get it because you can also include the fact that Tyson didn't properly train for that fight. He didn't take his opponent seriously. I get all that. But I think the real reason, I think the true situation where Tyson kind of crumbled and he wasn't quite the same fighter physically in a way, or even mentally, was the Razor Ruddock fight. So those were the two fights I think that took a lot out of Mike Tyson. Because yes, he knocked down Ruddock. He stopped in the first fight. It was controversial. I get it. But I think when Mike Tyson finally fought someone who wasn't afraid with him, who wasn't afraid to punch him back and wasn't afraid to try to knock him out, that's when he wasn't the same fighter mentally. And so with that said, Muhammad Ali, a prime Ali, especially a guy who was beating beating the Sonny Listons and the Archie Moores and the Jug Dones, that version of Ali, or Cassius Clay as you want to call it, that version of Ali would have smoked Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson would, I think, in my view, would have had no chance in that fight. I'm just being honest. I don't think his handlers would even put him near Ali, and that version of Ali, to be honest with you. Now, the one who spent 4 years of his in jail and lost 4 years of his prime, that version of Ali would have beaten him too. Now, would Mike Tyson wouldn't have had no success against him? Of course not. Of course he would have. He would have had success against that version of Ali, but he still would have lost. Because again, it goes back to my point. My point is that if you put somebody in there against Tyson who's not afraid to punch with him, who's not intimidated by him, who's coming there to win against him, that's when Tyson folds. That's when he's not at his best, and that's when he struggles, and that's when he collapsed. And we saw that against Vander Holyfield, because that was it for him when he couldn't get his way with Holyfield. So my prediction goes to Ali. That's all I gotta say.
Hey Dan, do you remember, or any of y'all? Do any of y'all remember the 4th round of that Mike Tyson Larry Holmes fight right at the beginning when Larry Holmes was on his toes and shit? Like, imagine if the 78 version of Larry Holmes would have been able to do that the whole fight, and he kept timing Mike Tyson with the uppercut. Y'all remember?
Oh yeah,
remember that?
I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Let me say this. Let me say this.
And
man.
he gave him trouble as an old ass man. You know,
he did.
Go ahead.
Let
Go ahead.
me.
I'm sorry, D-Style.
That's all good. Shout out to the liquor spot, Miss Boxing on here. How's it going? Check it out. All right. Hey, the eyes are the windows to the soul. Okay, Mike Tyson, all right, has admitted, and Teddy Atlas has confirmed this, or I believe Teddy Atlas said this, but this dude was so insecure he'd be crying before a fight, and Teddy had to like console him and give him a confidence boost, like a little pep talk to believe in himself. You know, like when this dude was fighting, bro. Let me just tell you guys something. Ali was gonna look in this dude's eyes, and he was gonna see that. He was gonna sense that. I don't care what anybody says, and I get the arguments. No, but this style, Customato developed a style with Tyson made to beat the style of Ali. I don't give a shit, because when it comes down to it, he might have beaten so-called prototypes, dudes that, kind of mimicked Ali, but they weren't Ali. Just like a lot of dudes mimicking Mayweather and his defense aren't Mayweather. All right? Like it's just the way it is.
Customato failed because he had Floyd Patterson. Okay? And not only that, when Ali was on exile, he went over to Customato's house, and Customato said that he was the greatest thing he ever. I think he tried to tell him that Rocky Marciano would give you some problems. You guys remember that? I know Dan and EJ both saw the documentary where Customato was spending time with Mike Tyson, and they were sparring and all kind of stuff like that. He was trying to break down the style and all that kind of shit. But he had Floyd Patterson, and Floyd Patterson failed. He had the peekaboo style.
Apple type wants on, he qualifies to come on, you know what I mean? So he could come on. The link's right there. That's only for Apple type. I ain't letting any weirdos come on anymore. You know what I mean? Those days are over. Okay. But this is for Apple type. All right. But check it out, man. And then after Apple type makes this, I don't know what Apple type's going to, I get the technical points he's going to make, but that there is a mental side to it. I think he would fuck up Mike Tyson mentally before the fight even starts. But let's let Haplotype in. Haplotype, what's going on, man?
Okay. First of all, awesome stream, awesome chat, awesome panel. Respect to everybody in here. You guys are all OGs. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, but I have to take on this one. I'm going to take it on the chin. I have the opposite opinion of you guys. Everybody in here seems to agree that a prime Ali, and first of all, I want you guys to decide as a collective, like, who is the prime Ali? Is it the Cleveland Williams Ali? Is it the Sonny Liston? Which one?
Well, that's the same Ali that was the same prime Ali that fought both of them.
Williams, Ali.
Which one? Which is the best of the best of the best?
Let's go. You know what? I think both of them beat Tyson. It's irrelevant to me, but sure.
Okay,
let's take
so
the Cleveland Williams one.
just pick one though.
All right.
The one who beat
It's only a 2-year difference, Taplo.
What's that
It's
now?
a 2-year difference.
It's a
the one who
2-year
beat Sonny
difference, but
Liston.
which one do you think was the absolute best?
The one who beat
Sonny
Sonny
Liston.
Liston. The one who beat Sonny Liston, bro. Because Sonny Liston was
Sonny Liston 1 or 2.
What?
I think he was better when he fought Cleveland Williams because he was more developed by 66.
see,
I
65.
personally
I agree with
think
you, but
he
see,
looked the
Sonny-
best
yeah, but
against
Sonny Liston-
Williams. But
Go ahead, but
that's my personal
Sonny Liston was
opinion. But I'll
dangerous.
let
bro.
you guys pick.
No,
Okay,
but either way. Go ahead, blood. You
Go
pick.
ahead,
Go ahead.
Apple. Like, make your case, bro. Make your
No.
case. Go ahead.
Liston 1 or 2.
Cleveland Williams, he was 24 years old. Most people are better at 24 than when they're at 22. He weighed a little bit more for the I think he weighed 212. He might have weighed 212 for both of those fights.
All right, let's do Sonny Liston. Cleveland Williams. Let's do Cleveland Williams. Go ahead.
All right, Cleveland Williams. The dancing Ali, the guy who couldn't be touched. He moved so fast, no one could touch him. But you got to remember how fast Mike Tyson was. Now, which Mike Tyson are we talking about? Spinks, Holmes, Berbick? Which one?
You tell us.
You tell us, bro. You
All right,
pick.
let's take the Spinks.
Okay.
That guy who came in. Now, you think that guy who came in with the sounds of chains and lightning and scared the crap out of Michael Spinks, who was a great champion. You think that guy's gonna be intimidated by a skinny ass freaking Ali who's talking?
How long was Spinks out of the ring when he was coming into that fight? He was out of the ring for a while though.
Well, the answer is yes, but yeah.
You think he would be intimidated, but that guy who walked in that
Ali
ring
was
that
an
night,
insecure guy, bro. He would cry before fights, dude.
Ali was insecure too. He almost had a heart attack in the weigh-in for this.
No, that's what the
Liston
people
fight.
reported. No, that's what people reported. He was.
That's a fact. They took his blood pressure. Hang on, I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, but the facts are the facts.
At the pressing, so his blood pressure ran high.
The facts. They had a weigh-in. They took
Don't
his
worry
blood
about
pressure.
it, bro. No one's getting offended, bro. It's okay to make your point.
Okay, I'm not trying. I'm just trying to look. Everybody agrees except for me, so I'm just trying to make my point.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I can answer your question about the Cleveland Williams thing. Okay. Look, when he fought, because I just looked at it. Okay, because I had to make sure when he fought Sonny Liston, he was 206. Okay. He wasn't as developed as he was when he fought Cleveland Williams, okay? When Cleveland Williams, now his performance against Sonny Liston, maybe you could say that was better. Some people think Cleveland Williams was his best performance. But the Ali that beat Cleveland Williams would have beat the shit out of Sonny Liston worse, in my opinion, because he was a little bit bigger. He had developed around 7 pounds more of natural growth. He was more grown man when he fought Cleveland Williams, okay? He still had all his speed. He still had all his reflexes.
You got to remember, Blood, that Tyson was younger. Tyson was younger when he beat Spinks.
When Tyson beat Spinks, Tyson was 20 when he beat Berbick, okay? When he beat Berbick, he was 20, and that was 1986. So when he fought Spinks, he probably was about 23 when he fought Spinks. Ali was 22 when he fought Liston. He was about 24 when he fought
So Tyson was younger.
What's that?
Tyson was younger.
Wait. Let me ask Apple a type of question.
Hold that thought, guys.
Williams, but he wasn't younger than the Ali that fought. Not when he fought Spinks. He wasn't younger than the Ali that fought Liston. Because he was 23.
No, we said Williams though, didn't we?
But let me get another
year.
Hey, guys, hold on. Let me get 97 Rough on here. All right. What's going on, Dave? What's your opinion on this, man? Tyson versus Ali.
What's going? First off, this is a great conversation. You know, I miss things like this because it makes you go back and refresh your memory about things. Okay. Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. This is the thing that a lot of people are missing. If you go back to the 50s, even further back, okay, all the way down to the 70s, going into the 80s, Mike Tyson started coming into the 90s. And then in the 90s, what Cusimata understood was that you can't rush a fighter. So when he so the whole like when I see fantasy fights, the reason why I don't get involved in it, because you got to remember the era of things that were being done at that time. Fighters in the 70s, before that, going back, were being tested. They wanted to see if they can make money off of these guys. They wanted to see if they can actually rise to occasions, you know? So to say Mike Tyson would have stepped in with Ali, with his management and what they were thinking, it would have absolutely have never happened, because they were testing the waters. They knew Michael Spinks couldn't face him. They knew Michael Spinks couldn't, hold up to his power. Mike Tyson was phenomenal.
What about Holmes, who beat Ali?
Again, I mean, we're going back again. You know, about certain opponents that were made for certain guys to go forward with. You know what I mean? You know, I just don't think. I mean, if we go back and we look at Mike Tyson's beginning of his career, I mean, there's no comparisons to what they were doing with Ali. I mean, it's a different era. That's why I don't get into it. But because of the fact that that different era, different time, different management, and how we're doing things right now, it's like saying like Crawford right now can beat a lot of the guys in the 70s, 80s, and 90s in the welterweight division.
I didn't say that.
No, but I'm saying I'm not
respect.
saying that. I'm not saying that happened. But I'm saying though, that's why the whole fantasy thing is not very good.
But with respect, we are talking about it. So let's talk about it. We can't just say we can't talk about fantasy fights. We're talking about it right now. So
okay, and so I'm going back again, and I'm saying that it wouldn't happen. They would not put Mike Tyson with Ali. I think they would wait, like the way they did with Mike when Mike fought Larry Holmes. I think that's when they would have put Mike in.
What would happen? That's what we're saying.
I don't think Mike at that time would have been ready, because Ali. I mean, look. Ali was fighting guys already that had power at 5'10", 5'11", and Ali was having success against these guys. Now, was he having, with Frazier and all that? Yeah, it was tough and all that, but the layoff and everything. I don't know, man.
He got beat by Frazier, but that was later on.
I just think, though, Mike had a lot of issues before he started really stepping up, and before we started seeing whether or not he could handle the pressure if you bullied him back. I think Ali would have bullied him back.
Look, bro, that English dude knocked Ali down and almost had him out, and they had to cheat to win.
It's all Henry Cooper.
He was the shit out of Henry Cooper. He was the shit out of Henry Cooper, man. Henry Cooper got a lucky punch at the end of the round.
Hey, but if Henry Cooper could get that in,
Cooper, man.
Hey, Henry Cooper got that in.
But hold on.
Slow-ass Henry Cooper got that in.
Habitat. Did he get up? Habitat. Did he get up though? Habitat. Did he get up though? Did he lay on the ground? Or did he beat the count?
He got up, but they had to. So
if he beat the count, if he beat the count and they go to the corner and they rip the gloves and that to make him recover. But he beat the count though. He didn't lay on the ground
cheating, though. Cheating, bro. That's admitted.
No, bro. Hey, listen, Ali.
Let me ask you something,
Tyson's to elbow people, bro. Tyson's to elbow people and headbutt people. So ain't that cheating?
There's no proof of that.
What? What are you talking about? Where's the
proof?
What's that thing? What's the referee against Larry Holmes?
Did he ever get deducted a point?
Cappuccino warned him. Knock it off, Mike. Hold on. Cappuccino warned him against Larry Holmes. Come on, man.
You guys are talking over each other.
Is different.
Yo, hold up. Frank Cappuccino against Larry Holmes. He said, knock it off, Mike. Knock it off, because Mike used to throw the hooks. He used to follow through the elbow. Mike knows the using his head, bro. Like everyone knows that. So
bro, if you throw an uppercut and the elbow happens to go through, come on, that's not cheating.
Anyway, let's go back. Let's go back to
let me ask you something, Appletite.
Go ahead.
Let me ask you something.
Sure.
Haplotype. What is the prime version of Mike Tyson then? Who do you think is the best version of Mike Tyson and Ali?
I don't know.
The one that bit Holyfield there.
I'm going with the Spinks one because I think he was the mentally strongest in that fight.
Can I ask Haplo? I know you're alone on this one, man, pretty much. But let me ask you this question.
Look, I'm out here in
Mike
the
Tyson,
win, bros. Like I'm
you know,
You're telling me like you're telling me James Smith
EJ could respect that. He's been in this position
Hey,
before.
hey, let me ask Haplo a question. So Haplo, so if you're right, you're right to believe that Mike Tyson would have beaten Muhammad Ali. But honestly, do you actually believe that, given the fact that Tyson couldn't beat a man who had heart condition problems, who had to retire and come back, and who was an underdog in a 15 or 25-1 situation and knock him out, destroy him pretty much in that first fight, naming Evander Holyfield? If he couldn't handle him, who was way past his best, way past his prime, what makes you think he can handle a prime Muhammad Ali?
That's not the Tyson I'm talking about, bro.
Well, that Tyson, I understand that, but that Tyson
from,
I'm talking about this.
You're talking about the Tyson from late '89, though. You're talking about the Mike Tyson who fought Carl Williams, who was afraid of him. Okay, and then a few months later, he got in the ring against Buster Douglas and got knocked the fuck out. So you're saying that he was in the prime for the 7 months
like
after before he got knocked out by Buster Douglas.
But that's like me saying the Ali that lost to Leon Spinks.
But Mike wasn't proving that.
Like,
yeah,
what?
Mike was going off and scaring everybody.
Whoa. Let Haplotype finish his point. So that way we're talking over each other.
Because, I mean, you guys are going off topic. We're talking about prime versus prime. We said the Williams.
Right.
The Williams. I'm sorry. Yeah, the Williams Ali versus the Spinks Tyson. To me, that Spinks Tyson was mentally strong. That guy could not have been shaken by Ali's little, rhymes and his little games and everything. He would have.
So then, what happened in 7 months with Buster Douglas? If he was mentally strong, what happened with his 7 months with Buster Douglas?
But that's What happened to Ali versus Burbick or Leon Spinks? Like, what happened?
Wait, that's a past prime Ali. Wait, hold up, Haplo. We're talking about prime for prime here. That's what we're talking about. But let me ask you this.
Exactly.
I understand that.
We went a year. You went 10 years, bro. Come on. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
go ahead.
Let me ask Haplo.
Can I say something really? Can I say something really quick before everybody jumps in?
Go ahead, Ruff.
Hey, I just want to say, hey man, it's great to be on here with D Style, Blood, EJ, and Haplo, and everybody else, man. This is phenomenal and stuff like that. Congratulations. I mean, dude, this is great. This is what boxing really needs. You know what I'm saying? The Ring Magazine has dropped the ball, and I'm glad that YouTube continues to keep picking it up where they left off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yo, 100%, man. Yo, 100%.
It's a pleasure to be on here with you guys. Although it's never a fun position, as EJ knows.
Appetite. Before Dan asks this question, appetite. You see. So you're talking about Mike Tyson. The reason why Mike Tyson, is because he knew he was fighting a lame duck in Spinks. Spinks weren't the same guy. So Mike Tyson
people were saying Spinks was the real champ.
No. Hey, listen. You know that Spinks wasn't the same guy he was facing, bro. Spinks had knee injuries. He was coming to fight. They knew that he was going to knock. They knew that Mike Tyson was going to beat him. What we're talking about is when you see Mike Tyson a fight that when he had to fight a guy that was tough, you saw what Mike Tyson used to break down. If he's going to fight Ali,
he didn't break down against
Ali would have found a way. Ali would have found a way to win. Ali would have found a way to win. How many times you see Mike Tyson get up and win by being knocked down? Answer that question.
Win by being knocked out.
Yeah. When knocked down.
How can anybody be possibly win by
knocked down?
Yeah,
I didn't say knocked down. I said knocked down. Down, bro.
Knocked out.
No, I didn't. I said knocked down.
But we need
an instant replay.
Answer the question, Appetite.
We need an instant replay.
Answer the question. Appetite. Answer the question. How many fights did Mike Tyson win when he's coming off the canvas?
Let me add a caveat to that, Haplo, before you answer the question.
He ain't gonna answer the question. He's getting away with it, freestyles. He's getting away with it.
Let me add a caveat to your point, EJ. Okay.
How many times did Ali win after he got knocked out?
Chill. Hold on.
None, because once you get knocked out, you're knocked out.
Yo, listen to me. I'm gonna say something, and you're gonna answer. Hold on. All right.
Okay.
When has, not just EJ's question, but when have you ever in Tyson's entire career seen him like down on the card, knocked down, being in a place where he has to come back from behind and win the fight? When did you ever see Tyson do that?
What relevance does that have to the discussion?
So the answer by default is you never seen that, right?
I'd have to think about it, but I don't think that's relevant to this discussion.
Wait, Haplo, you cited the reason. You cited.
Hang on, can I finish? The Tyson
go ahead.
that I'm talking about never got in trouble.
Appetite. What we're trying to say is that if Mike Tyson fought Ali, there's going to be a point maybe Ali gets
doesn't
down.
have the power to get him in trouble like that.
All right. Go ahead, AJ. Go ahead.
No, what I'm trying to say to you, if you're talking about a proper fight with two greats in their prime, someone's going to hit the deck, yeah? But we know our guy has been through all kinds of things. He'll come up to beat.
But he never won after hitting the deck.
Mike, you see, the thing is, you're watching Mike Tyson when he's going against guys.
He won after hitting
the
deck.
Let me get out what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is the guy I like Mike Tyson, I like Ali, but you're looking at a guy who knew he was going to win, but Mike Tyson, you've never put him in a situation against that guy. This is an all-time great, and you put Mike Tyson against all-time greats. How many success? Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield. It doesn't look that good, bro. You talk about Muhammad Ali.
Okay, now you're going.
You talk about Muhammad Ali. I know you talk about prime. But I understand about prime, yeah. But what I'm saying to say to you is that you're talking about Muhammad. You're talking about Muhammad Ali versus Ali in a dream. Appetite. You're gonna be finished, right? You're talking about a dream match, yeah.
I promise you're gonna get to respond, Haplo, but you gotta let it.
You're talking about a dream match. You're talking about a dream match, so you're talking about circumstances in the fight, which may or may happen. But we know that our guy, even at that point, yeah, has been through stuff that he can endure. Sonny Liston, even the Cleveland Williams, he fought Sonny Liston. Now, who's more fit at that time, Sonny Liston or Mike Tyson? If he beat Sonny Liston when he was in his 20s, and he's older now when he fought Cleveland Williams, Mike Tyson ain't got nothing on Sonny Liston at that time. He hasn't. Sonny Liston is the most feared puncher in boxing history, and he dealt with him. So there's no way he's worried about bloody Mike Tyson. He's got short arms. He ain't worried about that, bro. He's seen someone. Sonny Liston is fit. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
As you know, as a boxing trainer, EJ, long arms and short arms can both be used as an advantage. And the way that Tyson fought was designed to negate people with long arms. So all that jabbing and moving would have been negated by the foot speed and getting inside and shifting yourself from side to side, and you're hitting here and then you bounce over here and then you hit there, boom, 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 combos, inside, uppercuts. Ali couldn't handle it from Frazier, so why could he handle it from Mike Tyson, who was way faster and arguably had more power?
But this was the Ali after the long layoff due to the suspension.
Okay, but you guys are making comparisons of Tyson fighting, guys like what's his name, Lennox Lewis and shit. That was way later. So I mean, I just don't see the comparison. If we're talking about prime for prime, the Tyson that came in against Spence was mentally strong. Let me just finish. He was mentally strong. He was prepared. He was perfectly prepared. He was in shape. He was vicious. Nothing was getting inside his head. His eyes, you looked in his eyes back then.
I'm going to go next.
All you saw was death. That Tyson would beat Ali.
All right, bro. Okay. I hear you. Now, you're looking at it, right? Let me put it this way. Like, there was never any weaknesses or any fear in Foreman before he went in the ring with Ali. But Ali got in his head. So
no, there was months and months of them sitting in Africa with a bunch of people yelling at Foreman, cursing him, blowing weird shit in his face. There was all kinds of stuff.
He got in his head.
Dogs were getting fucked with. Like, no, that wouldn't happen.
But like, I mean, you just want to say no for the sake of saying no, but he got in his head. Like, you know, you could say all the reasons you want, but like,
they
you know,
postponed that fight
have
for
every
months.
reason. No, hold on, hold on. You were saying, "Oh, let me finish. Let me finish." Okay, you were saying, okay, that when it comes to Tyson and his failures, there's all these reasons, right? Oh, he didn't train. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. Like, at the end of the day, I just believe that two things. One, that we already know the way Tyson was, the way you had to be consoled before fights. When
he was a kid.
Hold up. We already know this about Tyson, okay? But I'll add a caveat to it. Even if he doesn't get in his head, I still think it'll be too much for Tyson, because all that talking about, you know, he used his short arms as an advantage. Where was that against, you know, Buster Douglas? Where was all that? Why didn't he just use that as an advantage?
For that. I thought we were talking prime for prime.
That wasn't that far. I'm not that far off from the prime Tyson you're giving me. Yeah, you got to go to Ali.
We know they fired his trainer for that fight. He had no corner. He didn't train. He was in Japan, screwing all kinds of women.
Okay, Sonny Liston was cheating.
Boo-hoo when
fucked up for rounds.
Boo-hoo when Ali lost to Frazier. Boo-hoo when Ali lost to fucking Henry Cooper.
Do we want to talk losses? You want to talk losses? Because it's a no contest right now. It's a no contest.
Not only that, can I chime in on one more thing too, Haplotype? You said that he was mentally strong in 1989, yet that was the year he was having all those personal problems outside the ring. He couldn't even hold it together.
Not on that night.
He admitted years later that he was scared going into all these fights. He admitted it years later. He was coked up.
Well, Ali also admitted on Arsenio that Tyson would have beat him.
Outside the ring. He couldn't hold it together.
Can I get a question in real quickly?
Ali admitted that Tyson would beat him on Arsenio.
Yeah, let me just say this. Haplotype, just one question. Prime for prime. Ali versus Tyson. I'm talking about the prime Tyson. I'm talking about the prime Ali, a.k.a. Cassius Clay. Who did Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali, did he lose to anyone on the level of Buster Douglas in his prime? Yes or no?
To me, the prime was definitely Ali and not Cassius Clay.
Okay, I'm asking though, did he lose to a fighter on the level of Buster Douglas in his prime? Yes or no?
Henry Cooper.
He didn't lose that fight. He beat him. He knocked him out. What are you talking about?
He cheated. He admitted he cheated.
Wait.
I mean, they all admitted it.
Wait. Hold up. So basically, we're going to
Habitat. What happened in the fight?
No.
Let's go back to the fights. Let's prove where the cheating is. So you told me what happened in the fight.
Okay, Ali gets knocked down.
Mm-hmm.
He's hurt. He can't come out of the corner.
Stop. You're going too far. How did he get to the corner?
Finish?
Yeah, I know, but how did he get to the corner?
He got up.
He
went to the corner.
Oh, thank you.
He was in another world. Angelo Dundee recognized this. He slit the glove open and said they needed to change the gloves. They took an extra minute or two to do that and gave him time to recover.
Okay, let's go. So what you missed out on is that. What you missed out? What you missed out on? I heard you, but what you missed out on is that the glove was already ripped already, so he just ripped it a bit more. Furthermore, he got up, so he didn't lay down on the thing. He got knocked down on the belt. He got knocked. Hold up, he got hold up. Yo, 1 minute, right? This is what happened, right? Because I heard what you said.
Don't make shit up, though. Don't make shit up.
I'm in the UK, so I kind of know what happened, and I've heard all the stuff, right?
You weren't even born yet, so don't make.
No, it was you. Yeah, but no, it was you though. So why are you still talking? You're arguing with me about something. You're trying. You see, you don't want me to talk. You don't want me to talk. So you're just you're filibustering. You don't want me to talk. You're filibustering. Hold on, 1 minute. Hold on, 1 second. I don't know, 1 second.
Hold on.
No. You said you don't want to offend no one. But when do you say you don't want to offend no one? But
I don't want to
why am I
offend
making
anybody.
up? Yeah, so why are you talking about I'm gonna make stuff up? Are you gonna let me finish my point?
mean, I've never heard.
Are you gonna let me finish my point? Are you talk? Now I'm talking. I'm not gonna tell you're making stuff up. We're not making up stuff here. So let me finish my point. So what I heard by the accounts of Angela Dundee, Angela Dundee, what happened is that the glove was already ripped already. Ali got knocked down, right? And now in his favor is his fighter. He wanted to make sure his fighter had fully recovered, So he told the commission that the glove was ripped. Now at that point, the commission said, we can't continue because we need another glove. So they had to go back to the stage and get a new glove, and that's the rules of the commission. So use the rules. I heard. The glove. Yo, are you gonna be finished? Are you gonna let me finish?
Sure. Come on, let him finish, bro.
Go ahead.
Right, the rule states, in any boxing commission, if there's a rip in the thing, even tape, the glove has to be replaced. So that's why they will have replaced. Now he got up right in the corner. So let's say the glove wasn't ripped. In your estimation, right? Do you think he wouldn't have come out the corner and beat Henry Cooper? Is that what you're trying to say? Because he got up.
I'm saying
he got up at the bell.
If he had to come out after a minute's rest, like the rules, he would have been probably knocked out.
Yeah, but by Henry Cooper, how the frig would he got knocked by Henry? Henry Cooper was bleeding at that point. His face was full of blood. When he came, his face was blood. No, listen. Henry Cooper would have never beat Ali in his dreams. He was flat-footed. He only hit Ali. Ali made the mistake and overestimated. And he never. After that, he wouldn't get a shot in. There's no way. If you're saying that Henry Cooper would have beat Muhammad Ali, bro, I don't know what to say to you, bro. There's no way.
That when you see,
no way, bro.
What I'm saying, it's funny, but what I'm saying,
no, he would never beat him.
He admittedly cut the glove.
He would never beat Henry Cooper would never beat Muhammad Ali. You are absolutely crazy. Right. That is a crazy statement you're making. That is a crazy statement you're making.
A crazy statement?
It is absolutely crazy. If he was so out, how did he get up?
How did Randy Turpin beat Sugar Ray Robinson?
No. Stick to stuff.
Randy Turpin's a better fighter.
Now we're gonna no. Now we're gonna stick to the subject. No. Hey, we're gonna stick to what we say. He's not gonna squeeze out of this. If you're trying to say, and you know boxing, that Henry Cooper would have beat Muhammad Ali, I don't know what to say to you, bro. Muhammad Ali got up and he went to the corner. Angel never helped him. He got up of his own demise and went to the corner. Ali sat him down. Ali, you obviously he sat him down in the corner and he said to the commission, the gloves ripped. Why that was going on? He got up. Listen, in the same next round, he got up and stopped the fight. He stopped the fight immediately. The fight got stopped immediately after that. The fight got stopped immediately. That was it.
Let me say this really quick. Haplo, you're stuck on that one moment out of like all these fights Ali had. Is that all you have?
I'm just using that I could go with Frazier. Frazier kicking his ass.
Hold on. Let me finish my point. Okay, that was in '63, bro. They fought again like 3-4 years later. What happened in that rematch?
What they did?
Shit.
What happened in the rematch, Haplo? You can go now.
Yeah, he dipped, man. He dipped.
No. I'm just saying.
Man.
That's all good. That was good talk, though.
Yo, bro, like that's crazy, bro. Like because listen, bro, he hating on Ali bad, bro. Ali would never beat Henry Cooper. Could never beat Muhammad Ali.
No.
Mike Tyson, never.
I think his thing went up, but I want to let him respond to that, and then we do got to move on to the quiz, though. You know what I mean? But Haplo, you there?
Yeah, sorry, someone called me and I got kicked
that's
out.
all good, man.
All I'm saying is I don't need to stick with Henry Cooper. I could go with Frazier. I could go with Spinks. I could go with anyone who beat Ali. Norton. Any of those. I mean, you guys are keep going back to these fights where Tyson lost to people when he wasn't in his prime. But we're talking about
you're gonna go to Spinks.
Not only that, but Ali didn't lose as a young man like Tyson in his early 20s too. That's another thing too.
Well, he also got his career cut short.
Was still a kid when he started getting beat.
He also got his career cut short, though. and
No,
of
no,
no
but
fault
you
of his
bring up-
own.
You bring up Spinks, I'll bring up McBride, bro. Like that's how you sound. Like, come on.
Well, I mean, what I sound like is someone. What I sound like is someone who believes very strongly that the Tyson who beat Spinks would beat the Ali who.
Why
beat
though?
Cleveland Tyson.
Why would you pick Spinks
Because
and he's not
his
really a good
style-
opponent?
Okay, listen. This
Okay,
is
go
the
ahead,
one
go ahead,
thing
go
I'm
ahead,
going
go
to
ahead.
say. Let me make
His style,
my
go
point.
on. His style. Go ahead.
Okay. The style of Ali was designed to fight against a different style than Mike Tyson. You can see that when he fights Frazier later. Tyson's style was specifically designed to negate the style of Ali. The Tyson who beat Spinks was supremely confident. He was punching holes in the wall.
But you can't use an example of Frazier, because you said that it was the version of Cleveland Williams.
I'm talking
man.
about styles. I'm just talking about styles.
Well, he used a lot more footwork back in the '60s.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
He used the footwork and a jab where he fought off the ropes in the '70s.
The problem for Ali is that Tyson's feet were just as fast as his were in a different way. He wasn't dancing, but he was coming in like a shark to eat your ass.
But yet, old ass Larry Holmes was able to make him look bad for a half a round, and then he struggled against guys like with Mitch Blood Green and Tillis. He couldn't take those guys out, man.
Yeah,
he beat all those guys.
Problems. He had problems.
He didn't lose to any of those guys. He didn't lose to those guys.
Oh, they're saying he struggled, bro. They're saying he struggled.
I'm hearing like a lot. Like,
you're saying he struggled. I thought he beat them easily.
He didn't beat Larry Holmes easy.
No, like I don't know. I saw him struggle against Douglas, but not all that aside though. Like I get it. Every time Tyson fails, I mean, you know, you sound a little bit like the Broner fans, Haplo. Like you have a reason for everything. You know?
Look, man, I came on here against some heavy hitters to argue my point, bro, and I think I did a decent job. You know, you guys all have the same opinion.
Yeah, you did, man. Yeah, you did, man.
I'm not buying that Spinks one, man. I'm not buying that Spinks one. No, I'm not buying. If you so what punch is gonna knock Ali out? Which punch is gonna knock Ali out?
That's what I wanted to ask Ness. Can you keep saying he would win, but like, how would he win, Haplo? What do you knock out? Is that why you're bringing?
He would use his foot speed. He would use his foot speed and his aggressiveness.
Yeah,
and he would come in. He would slip the jab.
Okay,
left hook to the body.
Yeah,
right uppercut.
Yeah,
left hook to the head.
Yeah,
overhand right.
Okay, so who? Okay, he would have got that right. So he would have got hit by, and Ali would have covered up. Then what? Then Ali would have got up and put my ass on his back. You got to understand that Mike Tyson's stamina wasn't that good, and he's a very good on top fighter. So Mike Tyson always looked good when he's getting the beating. Hold up. Mike Tyson. No, but Appetite.
You guys just mentioned a bunch of fights where he went the distance.
No, but Appetite. Here, what I'm trying to say is you broke down the fight, and I'm trying to tell you this is what happened, right? He's very good on top, like George Foreman and like Muhammad Ali, like George Foreman, like Sonny Liston, and all them big bad guys. George Foreman, Sonny Liston, Mike Tyson, all bullies. No, let me finish what I'm saying. All bullies, all coming forward, and they all look great when they're coming. We're talking about when he starts getting an ass whipping from Ali, which is gonna happen. When he starts getting hit by Ali, he ain't gonna like it. Ali gonna talk shit. He gonna back him up. He gonna circle
Mike
around
Tyson
him.
would eat those little punches and keep coming.
Hold on.
Little punches. What the?
You see, hold on. So you look, see Ali, yeah, right? You might look cool. So you know about the accumulation. Every time he hits, he's still a heavyweight, you know. Not one punch would do. Multiple punches, Ali starts cutting people's faces up. Every guy Ali ever fought, look at the size of their faces. Their faces.
But that Mike Tyson that we're talking about never got hit by jabs.
No, listen.
You saw the Buster Douglas fight after?
Take this guy to a deep, dark place, Haplotype, whether you like it or not, and he wasn't going to like
Mike Tyson who fought Spinks wasn't getting cut. He wasn't getting hit.
Mike Tyson who fought Spinks got beat up by Buster Douglas. That's the same Mike Tyson, bro. It's just Spinks was scared. Spinks came
But
in
we're
here, he
not
had a knee
talking
brace
about that
on, all
guy.
kind of stuff. Okay, that's the
So
same.
then we
It's
should
only
talk
a
about
6-month
the
difference
Ali
between
who
that
got
fight.
beat up
It's a
by
6-month difference.
Frazier. I mean,
That's the
are
same
we
fight
talking about the
that fought
best
Douglas.
guys? Or are we talking about other fights? Which is it?
Wait, are you seriously comparing Buster Douglas to Joe Frazier?
Let me say this: there's a spectrum there, Haplo. It's like you can't say it has to be specifically that. It's the same guy, bro. We're
It's
only
a
talking.
fantasy fight.
It's only 6 months apart, bro.
Well, but it's
And he weighed
very
the same
different.
amount too. He weighed
It's one guy
220
who
for
trained
both
and who
fights.
was in a good frame of mind, and another guy.
Wait, what haplotype?
completely
When you
not
say
trained.
he wasn't training, he didn't train for the Frank Bruno fight. And he still got through it. So what are you talking about?
Man, yeah, I just hear a bunch of
Okay, so now we're going to talk about
Ali
Bruno.
But
excuses after the
So
Sonny.
let's talk about
Get it
Spinks
done.
then.
Did Ali have when Sonny Liston's corner was allegedly trying to cheat and Ali's eyes were burning? Did Ali come out and cry and come up with excuses, or did he just get the job done?
No, he got the job done on that
All right.
one.
Well, why did Tyson get the fucking job done?
On which fight?
When he fucking exploded, apparently, according to a lot of people. I just, you know what I
See,
think
the difference is what you're talking about, D-Style, is the difference between Ali fighting Liston and having that stuff put in his eyes,
right,
and then going back to the corner and saying, I can't see, right? And then Angelo Dundee was there, and he knew how to handle that situation. Whereas with Buster Douglas and Mike Tyson, they had a condom full of cold water instead of an Enswell.
right. Well,
Two different things.
No, I get that, but I mean, at the end of the day, dude, look at the opponent, though. It's not like he was facing Holyfield in there. You know what I mean? It was Buster Douglas. So you could still kind of see that.
But that Buster Douglas was a hell of a fighter that night.
What you saw was, but he ain't no Ali.
The same Buster Douglas who quit against Tony Tucker. Is that the same one we're talking about?
That's
Better than Ali. So that Buster Douglas was better than the Ali who beat Cleveland Williams.
He certainly wasn't better than Sonny Liston, so let's not go there.
No, I'm saying that Tyson was nowhere near the same Tyson that beat Burbick, Spinks, and Holmes.
He's the same Tyson who fought Spinks, bro. Spinks was scared.
Bro,
Tyson
you know the story. He never trained for Douglas.
With the mentality to beat
Douglas was a joke. He didn't.
He never trained for Frank Bruno either. So what are you talking about, bro?
I trained a little bit for Bruno.
Exhausting this topic, we're kind of going in circles here. So, Haplo, I want to thank you for coming on.
Sorry.
Why didn't he do the rematch, bro? Why didn't he rematch Buster Douglas, bro? Why didn't he rematch? Why didn't he give him a rematch? Why didn't he give him a rematch?
Don't be.
Why didn't he give him a rematch? Why didn't he give him a rematch? That's what I'm saying. Why didn't he give him a rematch?
Who give who a rematch?
Why didn't Tyson rematch Buster Douglas? Why Ali rematched everyone he ever fought who ever beat him?
Rematch Henry Cooper.
He did rematch.
Guys, we're going in circles at this point. You know what I mean? Like we're kind of making the same points over and over. Like it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like everyone knows that Ali would win anyway. So I don't even know why we're.
Even Haplo knows it. He's just trying to.
No, I'm not, bro. I really, truly believe, honestly, that the Tyson who beat Spinks
bro. People are starting to leave.
Burbick would be the Ali who beat Williams. That's my opinion.
But it is what it is, bro. Like you made your points. If we keep going, we're going to be repeating the same points. You know. So
okay. All right. Cool. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So that's that. That's the Ali Tyson debate. You know, that's Throwback Thursday. Things get heated. Blood. Why do boxing fans get heated? Blood. What's going on?
Why do boxing fans get heated?
Yeah, well, what is it about us that we get heated all the time?
Man, I don't know, because there's so many different reasons in the sport of boxing why fans get heated. It could be based on their attachment to a fighter. Maybe they identify to the fighter. Maybe they could relate to the fighter in some kind of way. Maybe they just want to be right. Maybe it's a bet. It could be all kind of reasons why a fight fan gets so heated. But I tell you what, we get very heated to the point to where we want to fight ourselves. That's why we see fights occur at the fight. And that's why I always tell the fighters, do not disrespect the fight fans. All right. We are the lifeline of boxing. Right. All right. So don't come disrespecting us. We'll fight over your fight. All right. So that's all I'm saying. We get really heated. Yeah, that's right. That's why we could make some friends and also make some enemies. And maybe even make a couple of frenemies, if that's the word.
Yeah. Man, I don't know, man. Like 20 people left. I was trying to get to the magazine thing. It is what it is, but
hey man, there's 14 people that want the magazine.
Well, that's the way it's gonna go. You know what I mean? But hey, it's all good. That's some good shit for the archive, though. I'll say that. But with that said, hey, Blood, you ready to start this magazine giveaway?
I'm ready, man. I'm ready. Okay. So nobody in the panel can answer, especially EJ, because this guy is from England, one of them, okay? So nobody can answer this question except for the people in the chat, okay? The people in the chat. All right. So in 1982, okay, a legendary fighter lost the fight to a fighter that he was expected to defeat. All right, this happened over here in America. The young fighter was from England. He's Jamaican born. He was from England. He came over here and he defeated a legend in 1982. It was the ring upset of the year in 1982.
Well, there you go. That's the question.
I need both fighters' names who participated.
Super Sam Kennedy, you got to answer the question. If you want the mag, you can't just ask for the mag.
No. Not Lennox Lewis. 1982. Upset of the year.
I'm not allowed. Am I allowed to say anything?
No.
Okay.
I'm not allowed. I know the answer to that question, but I'm not going to say anything. I know the answer, but I can't say it.
You could give him a hint. Give him a hint.
All righty. All right. Well, I should do that. No, I'm not going to do that. I already know the answer to. I'm not going to do that.
Come on, man. Come on. Somebody got to know it. It was an upset.
Someone got it.
1982. A British fighter came over here and beat him, and shocked everybody. He's a Jamaican.
He's saying that looks like somebody put it there, Blood.
Yeah, someone's got it. Bruce, was it Bruce Goes? He got it. I think he got it first, right?
Already? I don't see it. Let's see.
Yeah.
No, he didn't. That's not the right answer. That's not the right answer.
Right answer.
Ryan Sawyer. I see Ryan Sawyer got it. Ryan Sawyer got it.
Okay.
It's Lang and Duran.
No, actually, no, that's not the correct answer. No, that's not the correct answer. He said Lang versus Cuevas. That's not it.
Okay.
Yes, Lang versus Duran.
Bro, those that just came in. Repeat the question for anyone that just came in, Blood.
Well, somebody already answered the question.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what? He got it right. Yeah, he got it right. You're correct, bro. He got it right. He got it right. Yeah, shout out to Ryan Sawyer. He got the answer right.
Got it. Yeah, there you go.
Kirkland Lang, okay? Upset of the year, 1982. Ring Magazine, no title on the line. Ryan Sawyer, send me an email to bloodboxing@gmail.com, and I'll send you the 1976 Classic Magazine. And whenever I'm on live again, I'll remember to give you a wrench. Ryan Sawyer, man. Okay? So send me an email. And Incomplete Boxing is the only person who I haven't sent the magazine to because he never gave me an address, okay? And EJ, yours is at the post office. I'm here to tell you now. It's at the post office.
But doesn't after a week, isn't it a wrap? Don't they have a week to claim it?
It should be in this box. I mean.
I see what you mean. All right.
Yeah, it should be in this box.
Gotcha. Then the man has to check his and all that good stuff. Well, man, hey, I want to thank everybody that showed up. We kept people waiting a little bit for the magazine thing, but it's all right. You guys got to wait. You know what I mean? It's a free magazine, so. But Liquor Spot, shout out to you. It's going to go around here. Dan, man, give me some final thoughts, man.
Yeah, look, man, I gotta say thank you again for inviting me onto this monster all-star panel, man. It's a privilege, it's an honor, and like 97 Rough had said, man, this is actually something that the YouTube box community definitely need. We need to have segments and and sometimes spirited debates like this, because this way, you know, we keep it boxing, we keep it respectful, and you know, this is a shot of the arm that it needs in this platform. So yeah, man, it's great to be on here to interact with the chat a little bit, and shout out to you, P-Style, obviously, Blood, Haplo, and Ruck, who was on here for a minute, and EJ as always. So yeah, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. EJ Boxing Live. Give me some final thoughts, man.
Yo, man, it was really good. I mean, I was listening in. You know, you guys are talking the historical, like, greatest fighters of all time. I'm gonna have to catch this back on archive, but really, really, really enjoyed the debate. You know, even Appetite came in, had a contrary opinion to us, and you know, back like the Ali and Mike Tyson debate will go on forever. Enjoyed Blood's content, enjoyed Dynamite, definitely you D Styles. Was it 97 Rough came on as well? You know what I'm saying? So really appreciate you know, the content, and obviously look forward to doing this again. You know, bring a subject matter. And hey, shout out to the people who got the magazine. Blood, keep doing them things there. I love talking about them things there. You know, I always think about when Bert Sugar was alive. Yeah, that I think he would have really enjoyed knowing that us lot here on YouTube talk about that. You know what I mean? Keeping boxing alive for the younger generation coming, because you know, it obviously them guys there, we used to listen to them. I guess we're keeping it live in our own way, keeping it hip, keeping history live, and the sport live. So I really appreciate these kind of debates. And I look forward to the next one, man. Really appreciate everyone on the panel.
By the way, Coach, I didn't catch your question if you asked the question, but just ask it again. I don't know. I can't find it. I'm scrolling through here. I'm looking through StreamYard, so I don't know. Haplo, you still there?
Yes, sir.
Give us some final thoughts, man.
Well, I appreciate you having me on as always. It's an honor to be on with guys like Blood, Dan the Man, EJ, and 97 Rough, as well as yourself. I just have an opposite opinion based on styles. You know, like, I know Tyson had a short prime and Ali went on forever and beat a lot of guys. And if you're talking about longevity, there's no question Ali. But prime for prime, I got Tyson. I'm surprised, actually, that very few other people think that, because I just think his style, if you look at it, it's just perfectly designed to beat Ali. But, you know, this is just conjecture. They're never going to fight. We're never going to see that fight. So, you know, anyone can think what they want. I respect your opinions. I didn't want to come on and, you know, antagonize anybody. I really do believe Tyson would beat Ali, you know, in his prime. Anyway, aside from that, I agree with everybody else who went before me and said this has been awesome. Like, dude, the panel was like a who's who of like the best boxing people. You had Curtis Anderson, you had Coach, you had, you know, everybody on here, G Funky, everybody. So awesome stream. Thank you for having me on, and I appreciate it.
Awesome stuff. And Blood Boxing. Give us some.
Hey, man, it was another great show, man. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say whatever you want to say. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, man. Once again, man, it was a very great show, and I look forward to more Throwback Thursdays. I will be bringing some more magazines. I got a whole bunch of them, man. Maybe we'll get the magazines going a little earlier next time before we get into the heavy discussion and things like that. But I enjoyed it, man. I'm telling you what, I needed a good boxing discussion. Here lately, man, I've been going a little crazy on boxing. I'm just so mad right now at the fucking way the game is right now. But it is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we get some good fights coming out in these next few years. And hey, boxing lives on. What can I say? Look out for the Salvador Sanchez documentary. It's going to be a very good documentary, very detailed, the most information ever put out on Sanchez. I have it all, okay? I clipped over 100 articles, all right? I got every magazine the man ever appeared in. I got them all from the first magazine he appeared in, which is the 1976 George Foreman cover, is where he appeared first, okay? I gave this magazine away on several platforms. Y'all look for his name. And that's pretty much it, man. So, thanks a lot to everybody who came out and listened to us. Thanks to all the guys who showed up in the panel, man. I appreciate you guys. One love.
All right, Coach. I don't know. Sometimes on StreamYard, guys, like some comments don't come up for whatever reason. All right, but I see that you want definitely. I'll send you. I'll send you a link next week, Coach. We can talk some Ernie Shavers next week. So, with that said, this is D Style. This is Throwback Thursday. Till the next one, we'll go back in time. Peace.